All right, how's it going? Today is, I'm not sure what the date is, but I want to take the time to talk about death because I feel like it's something that, well, I don't think anybody really talks about it effectively. I could use an eyebrows wax, yeah, sure. But I just don't think that they do. And there are many different theories about the other side. There's many different schools of thought about it. Honestly, I don't see how people can comment on it, having not really been there. But I've seen some things visually which tend to indicate that, well, if you look at the books in the Bible, the Gospel of Peace, which was written by Thomas, St. Thomas, Didymus Thomas, which means twin. He talks about we return to our earthly mothers. We come from our mother's bones and we return to Mother Earth. I would say of all of the books I read, biblically speaking, that one is probably the most accurate. And that comes from a visual perspective and visualizations that I've had. And if you look into text from Judaism and discussions about the Lord of Hosts above and below, that's also consistent. And so I just think that there's some confusion about that. And what I don't understand is why religion can't seem to be consistent with that reality. That's my reality. And I don't know if it's a mountain or if it's what it is, but that seems to be consistent aftermath. Which is also weird if you think about it, because they have these stupas in the Buddhist tradition, these mountains, these stupas, and then there's all these like paintings and stuff in the past where you have like the devil eating people or whatever, or being down in this mountain and eating people. And it's not the devil, because there's not one. And that's just what I'm trying to communicate. There's not one. Because it can't be any other way. It's either one and the same or it's nothing. And if it's nothing, then it's nothing. But there's no separation. And I feel like there's just been some confusion about that. People have a lot of lives have been lost over this deal, and it's ridiculous. It's complete and total horseshit. At some point, we're going to realize that human life is precious and honor it and not fight anymore. And peace is something that's possible. And even in the Quran, it's the same God. There's no difference. It's only ignorance to believe that it's a different God. It's the same God, and to kill each other over the same God is stupid. Only ignorance engages in harmfulness. People harm other people because they're ignorant. People abuse other people because they're ignorant. It's unnecessary. There's plenty of resources, there's plenty of oil, there's plenty of food, there's plenty of water. And in reality, we could do with a lot less. But only people who are ignorant harm other people. And ignorance stems from not knowing how to do something. Okay? People get frustrated when they don't know how to do something. Have you ever seen an autistic child get frustrated? Have you ever seen another kind of child, a normal child, be frustrated? People are the same way. And people only get frustrated when they don't know how to do something. And so through knowledge of knowing how to do something comes understanding. And so the only thing that I can say is that people just need to practice doing something until they figure out how the fuck to do it. And to not harm other people. It's just an unnecessary act of bullshit. And I feel like in the age of internet, when someone can't communicate with their own daughters, that's ignorance. There's ignorance somewhere in between that. You can call it hurt feelings all you want to. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But it's ignorance. And you're fostering additional pain and suffering later on by being a fucking asshole. You're just an asshole. The world has enough assholes and enough shit that stinks. We don't need any more assholes. We could use a lot fewer assholes. We could use fewer assholes and fewer shit. Because shit has to be shoveled and assholes have to be put in their place. Eventually they have to be put in their place, locked up in prisons, or their feet have to be clipped out from under them, or they have to be beaten or killed or whatever. I'm just saying, don't be an asshole. And understand that, children deserve to know who their father is. If you're their father, then be their father. If I'm not their father, then tell me that I'm not their father. But don't leave me on the hook for $20,000 of child support because you can't tell your own wife that you fucked. You know what I'm saying? Just don't play these fucking games, an asshole. You're just a fucking asshole. And I take this time to say this because my dad is what I'm talking about. You're an asshole. You're just a fucking asshole. You just are. You're a fucking asshole. And now that your mother's dead, you are an asshole. I'm just going to tell you point blank. You're a fucking asshole. Okay? She was a good woman. And now I know I never have to go back to Texas because she's no longer alive. But you're a fucking asshole. You really are a fucking asshole. And I don't mean to kick people when they're down, but you're a fucking asshole. You really are an ignorant fucking asshole. And my relationship with my daughters is important to me. And if they're not my daughters, if they're your daughters, asshole, then just fucking admit it and stop being a fucking asshole. It's like at some point you just have to sit back and go, that situation is there's just an asshole somewhere that needs to die. And I wish it was him. Because I love my grandmother. I do. Honestly, I do. She loved me unconditionally and she was never an asshole. She had one child that was an asshole. The other two turned out fine. But one of them turned out to be just a fucking asshole. A spineless piece of shit asshole. And that's all there is to it. So, in contemplating this thing called enlightenment or the ultimate realization, we don't all of a sudden love everybody. That's not the key. Jesus never said love everybody. No, he didn't. He never had any fucking neighbors. We can be courteous to other people, but typically we're courteous to them because we want some shit. The reality is there's 5 reasons we're here and they're not that good. We don't incarnate because we're going to be the bundle of joy to someone's existence. That's not why we're fucking here. I realize the Ad Agency Association of Assholes has got everybody wired into that notion, but little bundles of joy don't come in here to make your life better. We're all coming in here to get through, past existences of being assholes. So at the end of the day, it's just how much of an asshole do you want to be? You can be a quiet asshole with a superiority complex that no one fucking gives a shit about because no one knows. No one's ever going to know you're a superior asshole because you can't communicate your feelings effectively. And I know he can't do it. It's so hard for him because he's an asshole. And assholes usually can't communicate their feelings. Right? Something happened somewhere and some asshole just couldn't talk. It's a sad situation.